Only see on 2020.
She was my best friend. Eric didn't deserve to die.
Friday night on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
So Anna's Behind is on the Behind the Table podcast today. We want you to have a great day, everybody. Take a little time to enjoy the view and don't let this all get you down, because we're in it together and we'll get out of it together. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
Students and staff have been evacuated from a local school. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. Officials are keeping a close eye on the potential for flooding, and a Skowhegan man has been arrested in connection with a deadly shooting last month. Thank you for joining us. We'll be having more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Thursday afternoon. We have some clouds that are passing through from the west and going toward the east. A little bit of returns further off towards the south and west. They may be seeing a few returns of a little bit of snow, but otherwise for the rest of us, we're looking good with just some clouds that are developing. We'll have clouds today, but some more snow will be on the way coming up later on tonight. We're seeing snow right now across parts of New York State. We can see that right there. But overall for us, we will be dry. There's a little bit of snow off to the south and west. That will stay there. But again, for us, just some clouds today. There's some more snow on the way coming up later on tonight. And by your Friday, we're looking pretty good. As for the winds, though, we'll still have gusty winds reaching up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Stronger winds to the north later on tonight, and then we'll hold on to those gusty winds as we head towards late tonight, but backing off by Friday afternoon. But for today, here we go, upper 30s, mostly cloudy, and that south wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Overnight, here's where we stand. The snow kicks in with lows in the low 20s. That south breeze backing off to about 5 miles per hour. Here's for tomorrow, mid-40s, afternoon rain and snow. West breeze at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. The hourly forecast this afternoon, mostly cloudy, temperatures in the 30s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is investigating a reported incident in Milford. Alex Schley is there. What can you tell us, Alex?
Susan, this morning officials say a number of schools across Maine received bomb threats. Here in Penobscot County, Old Town Middle School, along with Dr. Lewis Libby's school here in Milford, were amongst those who received the threatening phone calls. The superintendent and principal of the elementary school here says students were immediately evacuated and brought to a safe location where most of them have since been picked up for the day. Penobscot County Sheriff's Office, along with Bangor's K-9 team, responded to the school where they have since cleared it. Penobscot County Sheriff Troy Morton says there does not believe to be any immediate threat to the public. Live in Milford, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Thank you, Alex. An ice jam on the Piscataquis River has caused serious flooding in one small town. Evacuation efforts were needed yesterday. Our Doug Banks joins us live with an update on the situation. Doug?
Good afternoon, Susan. Yes, it was an ice jam that caused people to evacuate yesterday. And the update right now is that, you can see around you right here, this probably stretches the entire width of the Piscataquis River. It probably goes, I would say, about a mile each direction to the left and right of me. Because if you go to the Maxfield town line, the water is free flowing, but where it's coming to is where I'm standing right now. I'm literally standing on the Piscataquis River. And it's these giant chunks of ice that have caused the water to rapidly flood yesterday. And now, as of today, the water has frozen over, it has subsided. And you're able to drive through North Howland Road right now, but it's still treacherous. There's some driveways that were completely washed away. They're still flooded. I mean, people were able to evacuate safely. The last report was that everybody was able to get out safely and everyone's accounted for, which is good. And the National Weather Service yesterday issued a flood warning for this section of the Piscataquis River in the town of Maxfield, where I am right now. Now, it was supposed to end at noon, Now we're past noon, so it's going to be interesting to see what comes next, especially with the weather incoming. But we're hopefully going to get more updates as to what people should know if they're from around this area. But the site right now is absolutely incredible. I mean, I've talked with a couple people that said they've never seen anything like this before, which I have to believe them because I've never seen anything like this either. It stretches the entire width of the Piscataquis River right now. Now we're going to have more information on this later on, or later broadcast. But for right now, live in Maxfield, I'm Doug Banks for ABC 7 News at Noon. Susan, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Doug. It was a sad ending in the search for a missing 19-year-old man from Orono. Chance Lauer had been missing from his Orono apartment since January 20th. His body was found Tuesday in a retention pond near his home. Our Callie Warren shares the details.
A sobering moment for the Orono and University of Maine community. Months of searching for 19-year-old Chance Lauer has ended in the way that nobody wanted. Chance Lauer was last seen in late January. He had no vehicle and his phone and wallet weren't with him when he disappeared. Lauer was known to frequent a walking trail near a retention pond close to his apartment at Orchard Trails in Orono. His remains were found in that pond by a passerby on Tuesday. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has positively identified his remains. An autopsy is pending, but police say his death does not appear to be suspicious. An individual who identified themselves as a family member of Lauer took to Facebook to say, quote, "He was recovered from a pond near his Orono apartment yesterday afternoon. He went out for a walk 8 weeks ago and fell through the ice," end quote. Down East Emergency Medicine Institute, or DEME, says multiple searches have been held in hopes of locating Lauer in the weeks since he went missing, including near that very pond.
Yeah, and some indications that he should be here. There's not anything missing that would indicate that he was far away, so he should be right here.
That was DEME Medical Director Robert Bowie in January, talking about the search at the apartment complex. Wednesday, Bowie released a statement to us saying in part, quote, "DEME has been continuously searching for Chance Lauer since he went missing in January. The pond has been an area of interest since the beginning, as apartment employee interviews indicated it as an area he would frequent," end quote. The Maine Warden Service was also involved in the search for Lauer, and according to DEME, a challenge in this search was the winter weather. It is not known exactly when Lauer passed away or what his cause of death was. As of now, we've been told that the results of his autopsy could take up to 8 weeks to come back. In studio, I'm Callie Warren for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Maine State Police have arrested a Skowhegan man in connection with a deadly shooting last month in Augusta. According to spokesperson Shannon Moss, 30-year-old Edward Longley was apprehended in Skowhegan and charged with murder and elevated aggravated assault in connection with a shooting on Flag Street in Augusta on February 2nd. 51-year-old Billy Jack Curtis of Augusta died from the injuries he sustained in the shooting. His manner of death was ruled a homicide. 40-year-old Sherry Gilly of Brunswick was also injured in that incident. She's currently recovering from her injuries. Longley is being held at the Somerset County Jail without bail. Rockland police arrested 3 people after getting a complaint about suspected drug use at local subsidized housing for the elderly and those with disabilities. 43-year-old Mark Gagney is charged with felony possession of drugs and probation violation. He was released from custody just days before on charges including drug trafficking and abuse of a corpse for allegedly burning the body of a man who'd been shot to death. 29-year-old Michaela Batty is charged with several counts of unlawful possession of drugs and violation of conditions of release. She was out on several sets of pre-conviction bail conditions at the time of her arrest. 30-year-old Tiana Brancella of Warren is charged with aggravated drug trafficking and violations of conditions of release. Brancella was also out on bail at the time of her arrest. During the investigation, police say officers seized over 50 grams of fentanyl as well as methamphetamine. The State Fire Marshal's office is investigating a fire in Waterville and issuing an important reminder to the public. Investigators responded to 3 Aubrey Street in Waterville Tuesday morning around 10:30 after being called by the Waterville Fire Department. The fire was contained to an enclosed porch of the residence, which sustained heavy damage. Investigators concluded it started due to the improper disposal of oil-based staining rags that were placed in a trash bag. The Fire Marshal's office is reminding the public about being diligent when disposing of these types of materials. They say when confined, staining rags can spontaneously combust and cause cause of fire. They say the rags should be disposed of safely outside of the residence or garage. They should also be submerged in a bucket of water or laid out flat to dry in a non-combustible surface, such as dirt or paved driveway. A building full of potatoes was destroyed by fire in northern Maine. It was just before 2 o'clock Wednesday morning when firefighters were called to a large fire threatening a potato storage building on Route 1 in Limestone. By the time the scene was cleared 2 hours later, the fire had already destroyed the potato house and a small amount of potatoes. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. The owners suspect a problem with the heating system that started the fire. The state fire marshal's office is now looking for the cause. The Maine Senate has voted unanimously to pass emergency legislation to support Maine's public defense services. The Maine Commission on Public Defense Services announced last week that they had reached a critical funding level, potentially jeopardizing the state's obligation to provide attorneys to criminal defendants who cannot afford their own. LD 2059 provides an immediate one-time funding allotment of $13 million to address the budget shortfall and ensure that services are not interrupted. According to the bill's sponsor, Senator Ann Carey, the funding will support attorney payment and retention through the fourth quarter of this fiscal year.
It addresses the urgency of the situation and assures those assigned counsel who are participating in the public defense system that we know them, we know that their work is really important to our system here in Maine, and we are here to take care of them and make sure that they are compensated for their good work.
The bill was removed from the Senate Special Appropriations table following the unanimous vote of approval by the Appropriations and Financial Affairs Committee. It will now head directly to the governor's desk. The governor has 10 days to sign it, veto it, or allow it to go into law without her signature. Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, a bill to help lower energy costs has been sent to the governor's desk. We've got details when we return.
Seasons Lounge and Banquet Center. We're just one block from Hollywood Slots in Bangor and are now under new management with a new chef and a completely redesigned menu. Come grab a drink and enjoy a meal with us. Fans, food, fun. Seasons.
I'm Barry Higgins from Maple Lane Farm. We have our own beef herd here. We're on about 800 head, and it's raised right here on the farm. And we go direct to the consumer. No middleman, all natural, good old-fashioned Maine beef. Our quality is unbeatable. We have specials on Facebook every week. We guarantee our product 100%, whether it be beef, pork, or chicken. And we have a small selection of lamb also.
Maple Lane Farm, a candy store for a carnivore.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stair Lifts has the solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stair Lift, the world's leader in stair lifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stair Lifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Why risk falling when you can safely ride?
Our Acorn Stair Lift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stair Lift has a padded seat and backrest. Safety sensors stop the chair if there are obstacles. The seat swivels and locks so you don't twist your body. And the Acorn Stair Lift folds away. It even runs during power outages.
I was really surprised at how little it cost.
Call 1-800-732-2971 right now for your free information kit or visit our website today. That's 1-800-732-2971.
Diabetes isn't a death sentence, but it is absolutely a life sentence, and you have to figure out how you're going to keep your kid alive. So when you find somebody from the government that's on your side, and it happens to be Susan Collins at the same time, that was just magnificent. After the meeting in Portland for my wife and son, my wife came back. She was 10 feet tall. She'd felt seen, she felt heard, and she felt like we had a powerful advocate on our side. No, it was a big step towards healing.
Thank you, Senator Collins.
Please continue delivering for T1 families.
Seasons Lounge and Banquet Center. We're just one block from Hollywood Slots in Bangor and are now under new management with a new chef and a completely redesigned menu. Come grab a drink and enjoy a meal with us. Fans, food, fun. Seasons.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
There are major Further developments in the war in Iran escalating attacks on oil and gas facilities throughout the region after Israel struck them. The Pentagon giving a new update this morning on the United States' progress in the region. ABC's Olivia Rubin has the latest.
Intensified attacks on oil and natural gas facilities around the Gulf today. Qatar says Iranian missiles fired at the world's largest liquefied natural gas terminal. The new escalation triggered by Israel bombing the world's largest gas field in Iran, the South Pars gas field. Iran vowing to retaliate, but President Trump with a warning. Posting online, Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility, adding no more attacks will be made by Israel on the gas field unless Iran attacks Qatar's gas terminal again. And this morning, the U.S. sending more resources to the Strait of Hormuz to open up the oil tanker transit point blocked by Iran.
The A-10 Warthog is now in the fight across the southern flank and is hunting and killing fast attack watercraft in the Straits of Hormuz.
Central Command releasing new infrared images showing U.S. forces destroying naval targets in and near that strait. A new satellite image shows a plume of smoke coming from what appears to be a tanker in the strait. Meanwhile, the Washington Post reporting the Pentagon has now requested another $200 billion for the war.
As far as $200 billion, I think that number could move, obviously. It takes money to kill bad guys.
Now these attacks on oil assets throughout the Gulf sending shockwaves throughout the global economy. At one point this morning, oil peaking at $119 a barrel. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Senator Susan Collins is speaking out on the prolonged partial government shutdown affecting the Department of Homeland Security. She put the decision to shut down the government squarely on the shoulders of Democrats who she says walked away from a bipartisan DHS funding bill and blocked other efforts to pass a short-term solution. She said, in part, quote, "The White House made a good faith effort last month that builds on the reforms included in the bipartisan funding bill negotiated earlier this year, with new safeguards to protect both the American public and law enforcement and increased oversight." Democrats waited 18 days to respond. It is time for Democrats to get serious and work with us in earnest to earn government responsibility. Legislative Democrats shared an update on efforts to lower electric bills for middle and low-income households. LD 1949, an Energy Fairness Act, has been passed by both the House and the Senate and was sent to the governor's desk. The bill comes as residents are struggling with rising energy costs. According to the bill's sponsor, Senator Aaron Carney, it will require the Maine Public Utilities Commission to develop an electricity affordability metric, analyze delivery rates, and consider the impact on affordability for residential customers.
It ensures that when rates are reviewed, policies are shaped, the PUC asks and also answers that important question, can Maine people afford this?
Representative Melanie Sachs of Freeport also outlined a bill that aims to put a temporary pause on data centers over 20 megawatts and bring together key stakeholders to respond to rapidly evolving industry. The proposals are part of a broader effort by legislative Democrats to deliver cost relief for Maine families. With issues like health care taking center stage this election cycle, the Maine Primary Care Association held a gubernatorial candidate forum in Augusta yesterday to discuss the future of Maine's health care system. Our Grace Blanchard has more.
A group of bipartisan gubernatorial candidates fielded questions from the community and healthcare workers on how they intend to strengthen healthcare in Maine. A central theme of the candidate forum was strategies for mitigating healthcare workforce shortages and incentivizing primary care recruitment.
I think in order to attract more provider capacity of all types into Maine, we should stop making Maine a no-fly zone for innovative healthcare providers.
We really have to work on the rural communities and make it attractive for folks to, invest there and make their lives there.
I think the best thing that we can do to build a strong workforce is to do a much better job of educating our kids.
The discussion delved into budgetary priorities for primary care and community health centers.
Community health centers are the only place where you don't get the training dollars, the direct support for workforce training. We need to correct that.
So we have to find a way to reappropriate money. One of my biggest policies that I'm fighting for, and I'm going to say it again, is oversight. The DHHS Oversight Committee, we see all kinds of waste, fraud, and abuse.
The state needs to step up to invest in healthcare infrastructure, because the closure of the hospitals, the closure of the birthing centers, the closure of primary care practices is indicative of a lack of basic funding.
Candidates were also asked about improving affordability for Maine people and families.
Whether that's housing, childcare, education, cost of living, or debt, all of these things make it that much more difficult to come to Maine.
The prescription drug coverage, I really do feel that the state has a real ability to go after that and go after big pharma, and I am going to do that as governor.
The next governor needs to redouble efforts to ensure that people are enrolled in Medicaid at a time in which Donald Trump is hoping that they will be pushed off.
The candidates all reached a consensus that Maine's next governor must address the state's escalating health care crisis. In Augusta, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
After the break, a Caribou, Maine native is doing maintenance work in space. We'll explain when we come back.
Want to save $1,000? Switch to Spectrum and we guarantee you will. Seriously, you can hold us to it. Switch to Spectrum fiber-powered internet and 2 mobile lines for just $30 a month each. That's $1,000 in real savings in your first year, guaranteed. Or we'll cover the difference. We call it the Spectrum Savings Guarantee. So call this number now, switch, and save $1,000 on internet and mobile. It's a guaranteed no-brainer.
Hi, I'm Tony with TC Hafford Basement Systems. All things basementy. Is your foundation shifting, settling, or cracking? Don't wait till it's too late. We offer the most reliable solutions to lift and stabilize your sinking foundation. With our advanced piering techniques, we'll ensure your home is back on solid ground. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
At the County Federal Credit Union, we value the trust our members place in us to act in their best interest. Whether it's providing low rates on consumer loans or raising money to end hunger, we work hard to serve our members and the communities in which they live. We are excited to bring the meaningful and impactful work we do to all Mainers as we continue to grow. Wherever you are in life's journey, count on the county to be your financial partner.
Nice sleep center, Bob. But what's a Bobopedic?
I could tell you, but I'd rather show you.
Oh, Bob's got a feel for your budget.
They deliver right to your door.
With 30 years of sleep experience,
The best warranty and so much more.
Bob's Bobopedic, from your head down to your feet, it feels like no mattress you felt before.
Wow!
Uh-oh.
Bob's Bobopedic.
Keep your next building project on track when you plan ahead with help from Hammond Lumber Company. Hammond's Home Planning Center specialists offer professional plans with customizable 3D renderings available to bring your project to life. Once your design is finalized and approved, you'll receive a full materials list. And when you buy all your materials from them, Hammond will refund your design fees. Get your building project off to the right start when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
A few weeks ago, I was at a restaurant where everything was served fondue style. You know, where you dip all sorts of stuff in cheese sauce, hot oil, broth, or melted chocolate. It was amazing. And as I was dipping, I got an idea for a recipe that we're making today. We start off by seasoning a few chicken breasts with a bit of salt and pepper. Then we top each one with some thinly sliced Granny Smith apples that we peeled and cored. Now we top the apples with some Swiss cheese. But rather than stopping there, we take it up a notch by drizzling it with a sauce that we made by mixing together some cream of mushroom soup and a little apple juice. Then we finish it off with some dried herb stuffing mix and a little butter before baking it off. And the nice part is, you probably have everything you need right at home. Does this look good or what? I mean, the chicken is super moist. The apples are the perfect complement to the cheese, and the to die for sauce is nothing short of spectacular. I do hope you'll go online and get our recipe for what we call Swiss fondue chicken, so you can introduce your family to a new favorite, and there is no dipping required. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a cheesier way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Two NASA astronauts, including one from Maine, embarked on a spacewalk yesterday. Astronaut Chris Williams and Maine's own Jessica Meir ventured outside the International Space Station to upgrade the orbiting lab's power generation system. It looks like they're simply trying to attach a part, but as you can see, even small tasks aren't so easy in space. This was Meir's fourth spacewalk and the first for Williams. When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
Chocolate fundraiser.
With the Chase mobile app, things move a little more smoothly. Deposit checks easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Welcome to outdoor living. Welcome to Granville Stone and Hearth. Goodness knows we've been cooped up long enough. Make plans now to enjoy the outside of your home too. Come to Granville and see, touch, and imagine what you can do in your backyard. Light a path, light a fire, grill a meal, sit a bit. It's all in stock. There's a staycation right outside your door with expert help from Granville, one of the largest outdoor living suppliers in Maine. Granville Stone and Hearth, Main Road, Holden.
This is the road where he grew up, where he came home. To the tide pulling back before it comes in strong. To the quiet pride of people whose days are long. To work that echoes but never seeks applause. To fishermen who are ever familiar with the dawn. To mill workers and nurses and teachers and loggers who ask for little but have received even less. This is Grand Plattner's Maine. This is Grand Plattner's Road, a winding path of service, of struggle, of courage, a commitment that greatness will not only define the past, dignity for workers, the freedom of joy for families at last. It is no longer just a whisper, but a voice with a demand.
It's Mainers first, in Maine, always. I'm Graham Plattner, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. Let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, Susan, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. Wave heights not bad at all at around 3 feet. According to the buoys, there they are right there, while farther off towards the east at around 4, 5, even 6 feet. So a far cry from what the wave heights were very recently. This is much better. But at this moment in time, we have clouds tracking off to the east, a little bit of returns on the radar, and probably a little bit of snow farther off towards the south and west. The rest of us will be dry with some clouds developing. If you see any snow out there, it will not be a big deal whatsoever. Any snow right now primarily affecting New York State, as you see right there, but we'll have more snow developing in Canada and track in our direction overnight. But here's Futurecast again. We'll have clouds today. Any snow will stay farther off towards our west-southwest. Here is some primary snow that will move in overnight. There it is right there. It will be out of here as we head towards your Friday, with more clouds on the way through Friday. And then by Friday night into Saturday, some more rain and snow that will be on the way right there. Both of those will accumulate just a little bit in a couple rounds, but notice that gets out of here pretty quickly. And Saturday, maybe a few flurries right there by Saturday morning. So here's what we're looking at. So the first round of snow on the way tonight is only going to bring about a ½ inch of snow to the northern parts of the state and barely anything to the south. You saw me talking about a couple inches to the north, and that's going to happen, but in multiple waves. This is wave 1 right here, and then wave 2 is going to bring the other little bit right there. So you put the math together, and that's how we're going to get our 1 to 3 inches of snowfall with about a ½ inch farther down toward the south. Here's where the math kind of kicks in right there. So yes, we have 1 to 3 inches of snow on the way, but it's going to come in 2 waves. So your forecast coming up for today, we have upper 30s under a mostly cloudy sky, and that south wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Later on tonight, here we go, lower 20s, mostly cloudy snow showers, and our south wind getting up to about 5 miles per hour. And then there's tomorrow, afternoon rain and snow, mid-40s for the high, west wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's your extended forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Mostly cloudy for your Saturday, highs in the mid-40s. Rain and snow chances coming up for your Sunday, highs in the low 40s, and mid-30s Monday with a chance for snow.
Thank you, Devin. A frisky leopard cat snatches food from an otter at a Russian zoo. An immature leopard cat is caught on camera stealing fish from an otter who was caught off guard. The video captured at a Russian nature preserve was posted on social media. It shows the big cat startling the otter before stealing his food and taking off. The otter dove for cover under the water, apparently not sure if he was the next meal or not. Scientists say they've never recorded such interactions between these species before. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.
It's back, Bangor! The Greater Bangor Area Music Showcase returns with the fan favorite music off-Broadway. Join Roger George and his talented musicians for an unforgettable show, all to support Rotary's work in our local community. Saturday, April 11th at 7 p.m. and Sunday, April 12th at 3 p.m. Getting your tickets is easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen. Bring your friends, bring your family, and enjoy a show that makes a difference. Don't miss it.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.